that's what I was having trouble with YouTube, probably back then, and probably before that as well. Because every time I try and make a YouTube video, me were they cringy. You know what I mean? Immediate, it's just well cringe. You know, it's just so well cringe. And I think the one I did in 2020 that I know was cringy was, I think it was the stories from the asylum bit. That was well cringy. You know, man, it's just well cringe. You know that? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to, sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to put you in my shoes, right? And say, how can I improve? Or what do you think, or where do you think I went wrong with my YouTube career?
Okay. Well, coming from someone who doesn't really see it as a career, I just see YouTube as a fun little hobby to entertain people. That's just how I see it personally. But secondly, I will say everybody's content is cringe. I every single YouTuber who has ever made a video has that one or two videos that they just cringe at. Everybody makes cringe. Not one person doesn't make cringe. We all make cringe. I make cringe. It's just normal. That's the first thing. It is normal to make cringe, but there is nothing wrong with that. That's all I will say. But in terms of improving, just I guess like well, like I said, like some of my stuff is cringy, but I am still happy to look at it. Why? Because I see that the work that I did, and I'm like, I did that. Look at the amount of work that I did. Essentially, I guess the best way is just experiment. Just if you still enjoy making the videos, make them. Just make them, have fun, do whatever you want to make, and then just check out how they're doing, just in terms of reception, how people are feeling about them and everything. And if they really like one, then perfect. That's your jumping off point. But what I will say is like, there is nothing wrong with making videos that maybe don't do so good, because it is fun. It is good to have that variety. It is good to have a video that does super well, and then just have some that are like still good, mid, but still absolutely good, and then another banger. It is always good to do that. You don't want to run your thing dry, essentially. But essentially, just like I say, experiment. If you still love making those videos, regardless if they're cringy or not, just experiment. And if something works, then just play around with it. And then if you just still want to make anything in general, regardless if they're cringy or not, or how they're perceived, just do it. But of course, like, keep in mind just to be like aware that maybe certain ones maybe won't work because of maybe something you say, or maybe you could say something that's a bit awkward, or you could say something that could be taken completely out of context. That's just the other main thing. You don't want something to be taken wrong way, or for something to just go completely off the rails. Like, just experiment is the best way. Like, everybody is trying to improve. Heck, I'd probably say if you look at the videos that you did, you were technically improving, but you just didn't know it. The main thing is just to experiment. That's the main thing. The main thing. I guess the main answer is just experiment and have fun. Just do what you want to do, but just experiment. And once again, everybody makes cringe content. Not one person doesn't make cringe content. We all make cringe content. If you're a YouTuber, if you're an artist, if you're a writer, anything like that, we've all made cringe. It is completely normal. We will all like feel it and stumble upon it. It is so natural.
Yeah. Thanks for the advice. I appreciate that. But I didn't follow that throughout 2020. And it got to the point in 2021 on February 21st where I decided to announce my retirement, because my mental health, which we'll talk about that later, hopefully, was getting so much worse. You know what I mean? It got so much worse to the point where I had to announce my retirement. You know that YouTube video where I actually legit cried on camera? You know, I wasn't acting it out. I legit cried. I mean,
I remember that video.
It was exactly that, because throughout 2020, I've lost all inspiration to keep on going, because this COVID lockdown has really like given me anxiety and all that. So it's exactly that. That's exactly how I felt, you know? So I got to ask you, how did you feel when you first saw that video I posted back in February?
Honestly, just the best way I can put it is just that I could tell that the pandemic had taken a toll on you. It took a toll on everyone, to be fair. But the main thing was that even though you didn't want to go into retirement and it kind of hurt to do so, you wanted to do something in terms of your mental health to make yourself feel better and to basically try and improve yourself. And that was all that was important. You wanted to do something to feel better emotionally and physically, and you just wanted to get away from something that could have potentially caused more stress to occur. So yeah, so essentially just I was completely cool with the fact that you knew what you wanted to do. That was the decision you wanted to make. It might have been a little bit like painful to go with that decision, but you wanted to do that for yourself. That was the decision that you wanted to make. That's what you were happy to go with, and that's all that mattered to me. And essentially everyone, that you wanted to do what you wanted to do best for yourself and to make things for you easier and not make it as difficult.
Okay.